Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Financially Fearless. Today, I have a special person on the podcast today, one of my past clients, Pamela. She has gone through an incredible financial transformation. She saved $13,000, consolidated $47,000 of debt, and now teaches spiritual women in corporate how to embody their power, which is very cool. She's like my witchy corporate client, which I think is going to be super fun for my audience to hear all about you. She's also the breadwinner for her entire family of five, including herself. And she's doing it all with intention, alignment, deep spiritual connection, which is what I loved about working with her as her coach. So this conversation is going to inspire you if you've ever felt behind, burned out, or unsure how to make money truly support you in the life that you want to live. So Pamela, welcome to the podcast. So happy
Thank
to have
you.
you here. Can you introduce yourself and just share a little bit about your job if you would like, or share
Mhm.
more about your other business opportunities that you have going on too?
Yeah, sure. So I'm practicing introducing myself as the thing that dominates my life the most, which is a twin mom. Like
Yes.
first and foremost, I
Oh,
have
forgot that.
twins.
Yeah, forgot that part.
I have twins. We're about to turn two in 2 weeks, so that's my primary role, and
Mhm.
truly they're my motivation and my inspiration for everything I do from now going forward. I'm also a wife. My husband's incredible. I'm a bonus mom to my stepson. I am a regional manager for animal hospitals. So I have a portfolio of 12 hospitals. I support 250 people, including 70 doctors, thousands of pets that we take care of. Next week, I actually get to go be an exam room assistant for a day. And I'm so
Whoa.
excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting. Not sure I'm going to be able to handle being in surgery, but uh, we'll figure it out. So that's my day job. What I am super passionate about, and it was really my maternity leave that awakened this in me,
Mm.
is being a spiritual connector for other women who are leaders and moms. So I'm a Mystic Matriarch Collective leader. That's the women's group that I started while I was on mat leave.
Mm.
And we're kicking up again. I did take a bit of a break. We're starting back up again in June, and it's a monthly membership. We do one monthly live activation call, and then I do drop in hot seat coaching also throughout the month,
Mm.
and then full moon and new moon rituals
Oh,
because
wow.
we are out here embodying all of the cosmos and all of our internal power as we show up in the world as leaders, mothers, mystics, and wives, and all
Yeah.
the things.
Do you feel like a lot of the women that are in that program, are they corporate women? Are they just ambitious women? Like, what's the type of woman who comes in who is looking for this support that you offer?
I would say ambition is the common thread. There's two corporate women, three self-employed, two RMTs who are semi-self-employed because they have to
Mhm.
go be an individual practitioner. I have a taxidermist.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I know, right? She's the freaking coolest woman I think I know on the
It's gotta be
planet.
really
Like,
cool. Yeah.
so cool. She's my earth witch. Like she actually spoke at the retreat that I hosted about apothecary foraging. And then we tied that in with spell casting and like you pointed a tree or a bird and she knows what it is. And
Whoa.
yeah, she's one of those type of brilliant people. So
Wow.
it's a really powerful mix. Half are moms, half are not.
Yeah.
So we've really welcomed everybody. I am feeling like a magnet for women who either are or want to be the leaders of their lives,
Yes.
whatever that looks
Yes.
like. Like, how
Hmm.
can I show up as the leader of my life? Not boss your life, but be the leader. Like, are you making
Yeah.
informed decisions? Are you pausing before moving forward, regardless of what your human design is? I really get into that, like
Hmm.
people's authority and strategy. So, regardless of all of that, are we showing up as the leaders in our lives when confronted with decisions or opportunities, people, situations? That's why I feel like I'm magnetizing, but ambition is definitely the common thread.
Amazing. Okay.
The
So this
ambitious witch, let's say,
an
because
ambitious witch. Yes.
yeah.
All right, so let's rewind a little bit because this is a good place to start, is like becoming, on this topic, becoming the
Mhm,
leader of your life. So
mhm.
let's go back to when we first started working together. So we're going to dive a little bit into us working together, and then
Yeah.
we're going to talk a little bit more about this witchy approach that you have, because I think my audience is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me hear a little
What?
bit more
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that, please.
Hmm.
But I would love to know. So we started working together May 2024. So it was probably
Mm.
last year, right? I think we
Yeah.
started and then maybe we paused. You had a wedding to pay for, you had Hawaii to go to, and then we
Yeah.
like picked up again in June 2024.
Yeah.
But what was your relationship, speaking on this topic of leadership, right? So when my thing is money, like what was your relationship with money like in that time, like last year at this time, like what was kind of going on with you and money?
Mm. Uh, if I think of money like an entity, like somebody I was in a relationship with, I would say
Yeah.
I was anxious avoidant. Like I wanted it, but I only wanted to engage with it when I had it. When I didn't
Yeah.
have it, like
Mm.
no.
Hmm.
Can I
No.
swear on your podcast? We can
Yeah, you
swear,
can
right?
swear on my
Yeah. Like,
podcast.
I'd be like, fuck you. You're useless to me. Where are you? Why don't you show up? And it's like, well, who shows up to energy like that? Like, I've never treated a boyfriend or a friend that way.
Yeah.
And so there was definitely a push and pull. And yet at the same time, I had done so
You did
much
so much
work.
work. Yes, I agree completely.
Oh
You
my
were
God. Like,
doing so much work. Like it on paper would look like this girl has done all the work. She should have all the money. Like,
yes. And I actually had a dude that I dated right before I met my husband literally say that to me.
yeah.
Why don't you own a house?
Yeah.
Why don't you have more money? And I
Yeah.
was like, fuck you. But he touched on something that was very, very real for me. I
Yeah.
was carrying shame for feeling like I should have more. I should
More.
have achieved more. I should
Yeah.
be doing better because
Yeah.
I've been a six-figure earner for almost like well over 10 years, not quite 15 years, but well over 10 years. And
Yeah.
in the entrepreneur space that I've dabbled in, that's like everybody's dream. Like they want to
Six
reach six
figures.
figures. And I was like, wait, I've been doing that for a long time, and
Mm.
that's not it for me. That's not what I'm striving for. So clearly it's something else. So I had done the spiritual and I had done the practical work to try to
Yeah.
like heal my relationship with money. I had done the tapping into wealth, was very powerful. Holy shit,
Hmm.
that really did help me. I had read things like You're a Badass at Making Money by
Hmm.
Jen Sincero.
Yeah. Jen
Um,
Sincero. Yep. Hmm.
yeah,
Read that one too.
Napoleon Hill, like all of the OGs about making money. I had been to
Yeah.
so many webinars about maximizing your own business, growing your online revenue streams,
Yes.
passive income. I had even gone so far as signing up to become a licensed life insurance broker so that I could
Okay.
understand investments and wealth management. I dropped that like a hot potato. I was like, this is actually not my interest at all. I don't want to be selling life insurance. And after that, I enrolled in our local technical institute here, like a college for personal finance course.
I didn't know
And
this about you. I didn't know you did this.
I had tried to solve all of like coming at it from all angles because of
Okay.
this shame of like, I've been earning like six figures for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I've done all this emotional, spiritual work. What the fuck am I missing?
Yeah.
Something is not jiving.
Yeah.
And then I heard you on a podcast because I was in the Cyclical Business Collective with Alex
Alex.
Frakes
Yep. Hmm.
and Anna. And you had her on your podcast talking about aligning your money with your cycle. And this is
Yeah.
my fucking jam. And I
Yeah.
was like, what? I had never made the connection before between like financial energy and cyclical living.
Mm.
And so that was pivotal. And then I just like became obsessed with your content. And that I distinctly remember, I think I was driving out to IKEA or I was on the road for work or whatever. I was on the highway and one of your podcasts said, you may be using a spreadsheet, but if you're using a spreadsheet built by you, that may be why it's not working. And I was like, well, fuck.
You
That is
bitch. Like, oh,
you,
you
bitch.
bitch.
You don't know me. You don't know me. But you say it like you say every time you're on a podcast, I feel like you
Yeah.
say everything through a smile.
I
So you
do.
said
Yeah.
it. You do.
It's
That now that I've
fun.
met you.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, not being rude. She's not throwing shade. She's not throwing shame. This really felt like an invitation. Like,
Yeah.
let me show you another way. That was the
Yeah.
first time it felt like woman to woman, and I didn't know you yet. I was being invited to explore a different approach.
Yes.
And you had shared on another podcast, or maybe it was the same one, that fuck this shit moment that you
Yes.
had as a mom. And
Yes.
you're like,
Yep.
I don't want my daughter to inherit my debt. And I was like,
Mm. You bitch. You
you
bitch.
bitch. Totally. Because when I
Yeah.
was listening to this, it was back like March, April 2024.
Yeah.
My twins were only like 10 months
Yeah.
old, 9 months
Yep.
old,
They were babies. Like you said.
babies.
Yeah.
And I had already been back to work. Like in Canada, I could have taken 12 months leave, but I'm a Capricorn, love to work. When they're 3 months old, I was back at it. My husband and
Mm.
I swapped parental leave. So I was already back in money making mode, business management mode, very activated, had that spring
Yes.
energy behind me. Also, this fuck this shit moment. Also, this bitch on this microphone is telling me your spreadsheet isn't working and get your shit together, mom. And I'm like, okay, okay, let me talk to this woman. Let me see what
Um,
this is all about. So then that's when I reached out.
I
So that
love
was my
it.
relationship with money
Oh,
before I met you.
I love it. I love how it came off as like, you bitch.
You
Like,
bitch, but
how dare you?
also thank you. I'm a
Dare
call
you
you.
do
And
it?
I like that's the type of vibe I need in my life. I
Yeah.
actually don't gel well with leaders who dance around topics or try to play nice
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
And I lead that way too, and that appeals. Like I mentioned, 250 people on my team. I've got 24 of them all in management.
Yeah.
They don't want me to be like, "Hey, how was this, that, and the other thing?" before I just get to the point
Right.
and the question.
Yes.
Excuse me, some of them do, and I honor that. And so we shoot the breeze a little bit before I jump right into things. But the rest of them are like, can you please
Can you
just
just
be direct with me? I'm like,
just
yes, thank you.
just tell me how
Yeah.
to go from here to here?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? I know. I
Yeah.
find that a lot of like I feel like I built that skill from like being an entrepreneur and not understanding like sometimes content I was creating, sometimes it was more about like marketing or even with clients, like it was just like just tell them from A to B. That's it. Like
Yep.
that's exactly what you need. And I feel like there's so many like let's be polite, let's like dance around this, let's not hurt their feelings, let's right. And it's like no, people just tell me what to do and I'll do it. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so much of that,
Where has
right? Like
polite gotten us, really?
mm,
Like, as women, especially, where has politeness
yeah,
gotten us? We
not
have
very far.
such a greater opportunity to
Mm,
be direct and
yeah.
bold. And I
Hmm.
think the challenge comes in when we face the feeling that we have after someone is honest with us.
Yes.
That's the growth edge where you can be honest with me. And I've recently worked with a counselor who was so honest with me, and I was like, oh,
Ooh.
okay. I actually really appreciated that, because if nobody says that thing that we need to hear,
Yes.
we're walking around blind. And
Yeah.
literally, I paid you. I think I maxed out my third credit card to work with
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
because I wanted that.
Yeah.
Like, you already activated me without knowing me
Yeah.
through a couple podcast episodes.
Mm.
Imagine the activation I can get when I pay you to do that
Yeah.
for me. What would be the
Weekly.
fucking point? Yeah, if you didn't.
Weekly activating you. No, but you know what I loved is that I felt like the topic you touched on, like you did so much work. Like you
Yeah.
did. Like I felt like the same thing. Like, but this is what so many women come to me at that point of
Hmm.
I've done a lot of it is I've done all the money mindset work. I've tapped the fuck out of my face. I've written in the journal, be debt free, be debt. I have stacks of journals. Like I
Yeah.
still keep all my journals and I have stacks of journals that
Yeah.
were be debt free. Then I'll be debt free, debt free, debt free. And it just
Yeah.
kept writing it over and over and over again. And
Hmm.
then there was even attempts, right? Like yours, the same thing, like a spreadsheet, some type of financial course, some type of financial education. And it's like, there's like a missing link, right?
Hmm.
Between like the money mindset work and actually like getting into like what it looks like to truly manage your money and why it's totally different. So what do you feel like was so different. Like you did the
Mm,
tapping, you were doing spreadsheets. What about coaching with me was different than you just doing it all that stuff or on your own?
yeah. I know I'm listening like one of your listeners might be. I'm like, okay, so what was the thing? Like, what was the thing that was different?
What
Like,
was
ah,
the
yeah, how did you get that? So,
thing?
uh, I wish it was simple. I wish it was like, well, Shannon,
Hmm.
it was the you need a budget software, and like that's what did it.
Mm.
But it wasn't. It was a combination. The the combination was, I think, one element, and I'm just articulating this on the
Yeah.
spot, actually being with you present every week.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Having another woman to talk to about money.
Mm.
Where do we get that in
Yes.
our
That
lives?
was big for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And, bless my mom for all of her financial wisdom and made it all work, but I could not have talked to her about money and getting like firm guidance.
Yeah.
My Oma she's still alive at 92, and she's got like wealth that she's just sitting on. She sends
Oh,
us checks every now and
God.
then because she's like, I want to see my inheritance getting spent before I die. I'm like, okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
but stop. And so I've asked her about money as well. And her thoughts were more like, I've always just had a deep trust and I treat it with respect.
Mm.
Like, okay, well, that's
Okay.
nice.
Can you put
Uh,
that into like a course, like
yeah.
for me,
Can
like
we
module
elaborate?
one, please? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I've asked the women that I know in my life about money and all those things that I had talked to you about before that, all the things that I did, like the practical matters, like the college course and the insurance, that was all men. The spiritual stuff was all women.
Yeah.
Like where's the woman teaching me about the practical
You did
stuff
the
who can also
masculine.
talk about
So,
the
yeah.
who can also talk like witchy shit with me, who can speak
Yes.
my language. So
Yes.
that was a number one. Like having you speak my language, creating this container, if we use that, coaching term, where I can show up brutally honest and not
Yeah.
be shamed. You
Be
ask
shamed.
questions like, what would be the easiest thing for you right now? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that pulled me out of the scarcity mindset
Yes.
and stuck in this like debt loop and build to build to build, paycheck to paycheck mindset and pull me up and be like, oh, what is the easiest thing for me?
Yeah.
That was great because then we got to put that into action.
Mm.
So that's, I think, the second thing is marrying the feminine with the masculine. Like here's this
Yes.
feminine energy of hold the vision, pull yourself up into this spiritual perspective, and then we're going to put pen to paper or like fingers to keyboard and we're going to
Yeah.
actually build a plan that you can live for your life.
Yes. That was such a big thing for you too, I remember, was
Yeah.
the feminine and masculine. And you were the first person that actually reflected back to me that I was doing feminine and masculine. Like you would sometimes be like, I'm too much in my masculine right now, especially as someone who's a breadwinner for a family. I can
Hmm.
see how easy that slope is because your job is like provide, provide, provide. But at
Yep.
the same time, you also still want and you desire to be feminine. You don't
Hmm.
want to always be in your masculine. So that was something we talked about so much. And I actually had no idea that that's what I was providing to clients. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I get to hold
Yeah.
both for my clients. You were the first person to really point that out to me. And I was like, oh, that's so nice that I can bring, like, I can get on the level with the witchy shit. I can get on level with manifestation. But, like, also, guys, there's this phase. We gotta track the money, like
Yeah.
pay off the debt. Cause I've been so far in either direction that I know
Yeah.
exactly how that feels. Like
Yeah.
I've been so far in the money mindset that it's just like, I'll just manifest the money and then it will come and then it will happen and then I'll pay off the debt,
Hmm.
right? And then you're so far in the masculine, it's like $2 spent here, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then you're like,
Yeah.
and everything's a penny and everything's down to the penny and then you're like, oh, but what about the dreamy and the
Yeah.
the abundance, and I want to feel that, and it's like,
Yeah.
how do I get both to
Hmm.
come into? And I'm so thankful to have you as a client to really reflect
Oh,
that back to me, because I was just like, had no idea that that's what, one, a lot of the women I work with were craving, but two, also like that's what I can deliver. That's completely different than everybody out here teaching one or the other, right? There's a combination of both, and that's what makes the results so explosive. So Now let's talk about your first success. The first success we had together was saving. It was 3,000 or like 3,500. I remember, right? You went from nothing in savings to 3,000 in savings. And that was
Yeah,
amazing.
that was
And
amazing.
that was
So
incredible.
the first of all, I'll give a lot of props to the software and how well you know it, because I had a lot of questions about like how to use this, that, and the other thing, like how to move money from the checkings account to paying it to a credit card. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, these are the steps. Okay, cool. That was great. I learned how to use the software quickly. It's very intuitive. Highly recommend for anybody listening.
Yes.
And Jason and I are continuing our membership because we use it in conjunction with, and Jason's
Your
my husband,
like your new
with our
spreadsheets,
spreadsheet.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So that was great. Um, what you and I did on our first session, so that 2 hour intensive
Yeah.
where, the pre-work is like bring all your numbers. And
Mm.
because I had done so much work, I had all my numbers. I knew all of my
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
But one thing I had never ever done before, doy, was look at how much money is coming in versus how much money I was actually setting aside for bills. And then
Yes.
that difference.
Yes.
That
Yes.
difference was $3,000 or
Yeah.
3,300 or
Remember
something.
that? Yes.
And I was like, oh my
Oh
God, I'm
my God.
today years old when I realized that I actually have more money than my
Yes.
bills demand of me. So
Oh,
where
I
is
love
this
that
money
moment.
going?
Hmm.
That's a brilliant moment. And I wouldn't have gotten there on my own. So
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah.
But then it gave me that sense of possibility. So then it did get to activate my feminine being in the safety of seeing it as a real thing. Like there's real money there, Pamela. Like you have $3,300 a month that isn't
Hmm.
accounted for.
Hmm.
And then came like the second big aha moment is like give every dollar a job.
Yeah.
And as the Capricorn mama, oh yeah, okay. Like of course it's just like flittering away. If we know spiritually money is just energy, if you don't tether it down to something and make it tangible,
Mm.
it's just going to float away. And that,
Bye.
bye. And that's what was doing. So that was the other major shift for me. I
Yes.
had been allocating money for bills each month and making sure all of the bills got paid, but I was not actually watching where my money was going in between. I wasn't
Yes.
tracking my expenses.
Right. Right.
Um, and then you had recommended Denise Duffield Thomas, who wrote the Sacred Money Archetype or Get Rich Lucky Bitch or something
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I listened to her audiobook and she talked about engaging with your money every single day. And that
Yeah.
was something that you and I talked about too. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that you could set up YNAB to do everything automatically. Like you can link it to your bank account, but you had recommended, hey, for the first 2 months, get in there every day and do this manually.
Oh, I
I was like,
know. It's so
ooh,
painful, isn't it? Like, why would it?
it's
What a
painful,
jerk.
but I still prefer that. So
Yes.
Jason and I still track all of our expenses manually.
You still do it manually?
Oh,
Oh my
yep.
God.
I have
Wow.
my checkings account that has a couple of like recurring bill payments, so I haven't closed it entirely. Plus, it functions like a credit card, so I can use that checkings account for any online purchases, which is great
Yeah.
because we don't have to
Yeah.
use any credit. But our joint checkings account is where all of the money moves. So my paychecks go in
Hmm.
there,
Yeah.
our um, government child benefit check goes in there, rent comes out kind of thing. So that account he's in charge of. So
Mm.
he's in there like every day or every other day recording expenses.
Yeah.
I have to do less of it because there's less transactions coming out of the account that I manage,
Yeah.
but it's still very manual for us, and
Yeah.
that's our preference. So
Wow. Oh my
manually
God. Talk
tracking
about
expenses.
dedication.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but I will share with everybody that where Jason and I are at now is that he's our money manager and I'm the money maker.
Mm.
And that's been a huge relief.
Yeah.
Like in all of my past relationships, I've been the breadwinner, and that just made me assume that I should also be the money manager.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
that's not it.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement.
Yeah.
Jason's actually better at it. He
Yeah.
can see the full vision. So his spreadsheet sees our whole year.
Hmm.
And that helps us map out like when my dog's insurance went up, he plugged it in because
Hmm.
we were given the heads up 2 months in advance. It's going up to this is your
Yeah.
premium now. I wouldn't have done that.
Right.
I would have been like, oh, I'll just try to remember to increase the budget for that later. No, he mapped it out. So now we use, you need a budget for tracking our daily expenses.
Hmm.
He's calendared. This is a man after my own heart. He sent me calendar invites for the last Friday of every month so we can have a money date and reflect back.
Amazing.
I know, using the reporting inside YNAB. So we pull it up and we're like, okay, here's the categories that we really need to give attention to.
Yeah.
And one of the gifts of how you help people structure their money is the stuff I forgot to budget for
Oh,
category.
love it. Love that. That's my favorite
Ah,
category.
it is my favorite. That is the
Right?
freedom that I needed
It
because
is
assigning everything to like, how are you supposed to predict
everything. Yeah. Because
everything?
life changes though, too. You go from needing diapers to not needing diapers. You go from not having diapers to buy to buying diapers, not, like formula to not
Mm-hmm.
formula. Then there's all the like special toys. Oh, they need this thing now. Now they need this, I mean, there's so much life
Yeah.
changes in like an instant. And then you're like, oh, I couldn't predict this. I couldn't predict how many diapers I needed. I didn't know
No,
that.
no. Yeah. And yeah, we have a lot of categories, which I think is something else that's really cool about that software is that you can have as many categories as you want.
Hmm.
So we also have a family camping trip coming up in July. I probably would have just waited for like whatever paycheck at the end of June to cover that. No, Jason
Yeah.
has been using the difference. So any categories that we don't spend the entire allocated amount
Yeah.
into our camping fund.
Yeah. I love it.
So every dollar has a job.
Yes.
The future, we're managing the day-to-day minutia. We've
Yeah.
balanced out our masculine and feminine energy, and that's been beautiful. But I
That's
know
really beautiful that you
that's where
guys
we're
have
at
found that.
now.
Yes.
But what I also know you wanted to talk about was, because I kind of did jump ahead, was how the $47,000 of debt got cleared.
Yes. Yes. So Pamela had her debt when I started. Pamela had her debt consolidated, right? So I didn't say like the debt was paid off. So she went
Mm,
through debt consolidation. And I think a lot of people think that as a financial coach that I would be entirely against consolidating debt, that I would just not be an option. And this is an option for all of my clients, for all of my listeners. Like debt consolidation is absolutely an option. But I think before you get to that point, you have to have the clarity, which is what I talk about a lot in my work, right? Is the process that I take everyone through is clarity, control, and confidence. So when you have that clarity, you're able to say, okay, here's all the numbers. Now, what decision am I going to make based upon knowing these numbers? It's when people do debt consolidation without the clarity that irks me. Like,
mm,
you need to know your numbers. And also, second part is you need to set up the habits, the structure, the financial management, the financial planning software, whatever you need, so you actually don't use debt consolidation again. So we don't have to
hmm
keep using it. So you actually have the habits and you have the structures and you have the systems that won't get you back there again. And it's like if you have all both those pieces, go right ahead, like make
Yep.
whatever decision you need. So that's what Pamela decided to do, was she decided to get debt consolidation. And like, what do you think helped you get to that point that it was okay to do it?
hmm Well, one of the things that I learned from your podcast before we started working together was your
Mhm.
approach to saving an emergency fund or at least 1 month of expenses before starting to pay off debt.
Yes.
That was a complete mindset shift for me because I'd always thought, like, what's the point of money in the bank if I have debt to pay off? And so
Hmm.
I would dump it on the debt, but then that just keeps the cycle going. So
Yes.
back to your earlier question about going from no savings to 3,500 or so,
Yeah.
that's what you and I landed on was the safe amount
Yeah.
for building that. And that, trust me, folks, again, breadwinner, family of five, my total month expenses are not $3,500. It's closer to like
I don't think
$8,800.
anybody's monthly expense is 3,500.
No, imagine, no. Um, but we landed on like a practical, safe amount to save before moving into debt repayment was about 3,500.
Mm,
That helped. If I had tried to save $8,800, we would have been 6 months out before we were starting to pay off debt. So we
yeah.
focused on a more attainable number that we got to sooner. So then you helped me define what debt repayment was. And I remember
Yeah.
being so excited for that meeting because you're like, okay, next meeting, we're going to talk about the debt repayment plan. And I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
yes, we're going to
Yeah.
see the roadmap to clearing all of this money. I'm so excited. And then we did that. And the reality was quite stark. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, Pamela, you now have the clarity, like you said, you have the control because you're tracking your expenses. You can see how much extra money you have each month. You've already set aside the 1 month of expenses. Now we can hit the ground running. But
Hmm.
hitting the ground running was actually at a turtle's pace
Yes.
because of the amount of the debt. And so when you talk about the habits and the confidence and the clarity, 100%, I think you helped me establish that over the span of like the first 3 months or so that we were working together. And then I saw the horizon of being
Mm.
debt free, and that horizon
It's
was
like far out there.
far away. And
Yeah.
I'm 41. I'm not getting any younger. I did not want to wait until I was 50 to be debt free.
Debt free. Hmm.
I was like, okay, I need to explore other options.
Yeah.
And my husband had gone through a consumer proposal
Hmm.
earlier, like a couple years or a year ahead of me or something like that.
Hmm.
And I saw him go through the working through the shame, working through the reality, working through like, what does this mean for my ability to obtain credit? I saw him work through all of that, and I was like, and he's still alive. Like, he's still
Not like
happy.
shamed in the town square or something.
Yeah, this didn't completely overtake him. And so I saw a living example of life after this like big heavy thing that has been so I don't know, maybe that's just my experience, but it had been something that I was afraid of because of what it would mean for me as a
Mm.
person,
Yeah.
like my quality as a human. And I was like, that's one of the things I really had to let go of. So like thankful for all of the money mindset, spiritual work that I had done before because it helped me detach from this process meaning anything about me as a
Yeah.
person. However, if I hadn't gained the confidence and the habits, gone through consumer proposal,
Mm.
and then just started repeating those patterns,
Yes.
that would mean something about me
Hmm.
as a
Hmm.
person.
Yeah.
That would mean I'm irresponsible. That would
Yep.
mean I'm not thinking about my children's legacy and what
Yeah.
I'm leaving behind for them.
Yeah.
So, because I had done the practical work with you,
Hmm.
combining the here's your vision, seeing the horizon, getting the habits in place, Jason and I had reestablished our money dynamic within our relationship. I was like, okay, I can confidently go forward and consider this consumer proposal as an option and not have it mean anything about me.
Yes.
So I went for the consultation. I
Mm.
learned all of the nitty gritty about it, and it's different in Canada than it is in the US, but pretty similar.
Mm.
And the people who helped me were incredible, two women, by the way, which is great. Um, and that felt very validating, actually, those meetings, because of that shame that I had mentioned before.
Yes.
She
Yes.
shared without oversharing. She's like, I have people from all different professions, like doctors and lawyers, come to me for
Come
this
in.
sort of
Hmm.
service because it doesn't actually matter how much money you make if your debt burden is so big that you can't see that
Yeah.
horizon. I was like, okay, so I'm not alone
Yeah.
in this.
No, not
Um,
alone at all. Hmm.
Also, it says more about the credit card companies and how awful they are
Predatory
than
they
it.
can be.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
So I am actually, what got consolidated was the principal amount of money that I had actually spent. So the
Yeah.
tangible amount of money that I had actually spent. What I'm skipping out of, if
Mm.
anybody is
What?
worried about that,
Yeah.
is the interest that they would have charged me in the time that it took me to pay off their minimum payments.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
fuck you, big bank. I'm I am still in my integrity in that I am paying back the money
I
that I
love
actually
this.
spent, but I am not paying back the money that you would have charged me
Ooh.
for shits and giggles.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
So that's the vibe.
Amazing. Amazing.
And
And
now I have
now,
one
then we
monthly
like,
payment.
okay, do the debt consolidation.
Hmm.
Fast forward a couple months. I get this message from you. You got this bonus at work.
Mm.
This story to me is then a true reflection of all the work that you had done. Because this to me is like the full circle moment. Okay.
Hmm.
So tell us about the bonus. Tell us about the bonus you got from work and
Okay.
what that looked like different
Yeah.
than what would have happened maybe before if you got that bonus pre-working.
Okay.
Mm.
So different. So, like I mentioned, I've been a six-figure earner for over 10 years, and I'm not saying that as a brag. I'm saying that as context because in that 10 plus years of corporate employment, I have earned bonuses. This time around, the organization that I work for is incredible, and we are rewarded appropriately. So the bonus structure didn't change this year, but
Okay.
I had a banner year in 2024. I
Mm.
came back and again, like thanks to my kids, fully motivated,
Mm.
thanks to the work that we did, like getting
Yeah.
clarity on who I am,
Mm.
how I'm showing up. Also zero fucks given, so I'm a lot more efficient because I don't want to be working late on a Thursday. I don't want to do that.
Something about
So,
motherhood. It
oh
just
yeah,
turns you into, right?
like narrow focus, deep impact.
Mm.
That's what I was able to do. And so the bonus that I achieved was larger than I had ever seen in all of my experience, like tens and tens of thousands of dollars. And I was aghast, to put it mildly, when I saw it. And what was really cool was yes, okay, so debt consolidation had already been activated. And so I was already set up with one monthly payment. And by the way, for anybody considering this, they match your monthly payment to what you can actually afford, not
Nice.
necessarily the amount of debt that you owe.
Yeah.
Like, yes, and yes, the debt that you owe, but more so, like, what can you practically afford?
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
mine is quite high, but that's because my monthly income is quite high. And
Mm.
$47,000 is not nothing. So it's quite substantial.
Mm.
So I had, and again, we worked that into the budget right away. It was about $400 less than minimum payments each month. So
Mm.
we were making money. Like we were, we had more money to work with
More
in our
money.
day-to-day
Yeah.
lives.
Hmm.
So that was a huge bonus in and of itself. But then I get this notification from my boss. I say notification. We sat down and we had lunch, and he handed me a slip of paper that showed me my bonus amount on it. And I got so emotional. Like, I've never had a bonus like this before.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that I fucking earned it.
Hmm.
So it definitely felt like righteous money, clean money. I know exactly the numbers that led into it because they break down the calculation very easily. So it wasn't like mystical money. It was very practical money. Now, then, tax man comes along in Canada and
Yeah.
50% of it,
Mm.
I think it was actually
Bye-bye.
52%. Bye-bye, which fine, whatever. I drive on nice roads and I live in a great country. So fine. But what that remainder, which was about $13,000, let's say,
Mm.
um, it didn't have to go to debt.
Oh, isn't that the best feeling in the world?
Best feeling. And
Yeah.
that was the first time in my career because I had, again, like earned bonuses. I had gotten lump sums of money just come to me outside of regular paychecks, but it had to go to debt. That was my mindset at the time.
Yeah.
What would be the responsible thing to do with this money? Like, well, obviously pay off the debt. That had been my track.
Mm.
But now it was like, I had this money and I don't have debt. So then I became the woman who not only earned the big bonus, but I got to be the woman who got to sit and hold
Yes.
multiple thousands of dollars.
Yes.
And that is
Oh,
something about capacity creation, expansion. That's where it really does get into the witchy and the woo woo. It's like we need to become the woman who can hold all of this
hold
big
all of it.
energy.
Yes. I agree. Who can hold it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the goal that all of us want is
Yeah.
to be able to hold it,
Yeah.
to have the capacity to hold the money
Yeah.
and to be able to be like, I deserve this. I'm ground. It's like giving a grounded, calming, safe
Mm-hmm.
feeling with money. And that is what
Mm-hmm.
really all of us are just trying
Yep.
to get to. Like when I talk about speaking of, like I can talk about the things like debt free and savings and like blah, blah, blah. But like what you really want is that I can
Mm-hmm.
hold this, you know,
I
I
remember
can have
realizing
this.
with you that I actually have no problem making money. And I believe that about all women.
You really don't though. Like for real. Like you have
No.
no problem making money. You have an incredible story about like getting your six-figure job, which is so fun.
Yeah,
And it's amazing. And I'm amazed by you. And I'm like, this girl's what's her problem?
I
Like
know.
I don't understand what's her
What is
problem.
my problem? Yeah. But I believe that about all women. I
Yeah.
believe we have so much capacity for earning money. We are smart, we are driven, we are talented, we have a unique offer for the world. And as soon as we learn how to market that, sky's the limit. And you can do that in corporate, you can do that self-employed, you can do that however the fuck you want. I
Yes.
don't think women have any problem making money.
Mm,
I think our challenge is that we, and I'm not going to go on a whole soapbox thing about being in the patriarchy, but we do exist in a
mm.
system that has kept us small.
Small.
But
Agreed.
again, and I don't think women have to become mothers to have this experience. But my friend who's not a mom had this recently with her mindset shift. She's like, wow, okay, so the 4 inches between my ears doesn't actually grow when I have a big idea or my mindset shifts. I
Mm,
expand internally. It's an energetic expansion. And I
hmm
reflected back to her. I was like, that is exactly what it's like with the womb. When you are, your frame, like, sure, our ribs expand, but I did not like grow 2 feet up and 2 feet sideways
Mm.
to grow twins. And
Yeah.
you didn't do that for your kid or your second kid. Like,
Right.
we have the ability to expand internally without actually taking up more space. And
Hmm
that's something I think that we are not taught or reminded of.
mm
Yes, we're all hearing the mantras like take up space, take up space. Like, yeah, but start internally. Start taking up all of the space that you have within you.
mm.
Like, I think it was Manifestation Babe, Catherine Zankina talks about the actual quantum physics of space that we already have within us, in that we're full of atoms, and atoms are 99% space. There's very
Mm.
little matter inside
hmm
our body. And so if we can start taking up the energetic space within us, imagine what we can hold.
So is this what you talk about when you're talking about being a witchy woman in corporate, like embodying
Yeah.
it? Is this
Yeah.
is this what it means? Like, is this what your
This is
work
the
looks
shit.
like?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Like
So
combining
yeah.
the spiritual woo woo, the witchy perspective. Like, and I say all of that, like I can talk about this energetics and the quantum physics and the blah blah blah. And I use a spreadsheet and a financial management software. Like, it's this and it's that.
It's both of them. How do
Yeah.
you like if someone's listening who does work in corporate or
hmm
who does have a 9 to 5, let's say, how would you tell them? Tell me if this is in line with your work too. Like, how would you tell them how to take up more space or have more capacity or embody this witchy woman in a setting where I guess, listen, I've never worked in, I think I worked in a corporate office for like 6 months of my life and I was like, I can't do this. But
hmm
like in a setting that I guess feels a little confining for
hmm
most people, right? Like, I don't know if that's what if that's what you think other people think about it, but like, how would you help them, become more
Mm.
witchy, take up more space?
It's not done in one session, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have seen the transformation of the women in my group, and I've seen the transformation in the women that I've worked with in my 6 month containers.
Mm.
I'm thinking of a colleague right now who really struggles. She's like, I'm a feminine healer, and now I'm in this corporate structure. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, let's talk this through.
Ooh.
She is starting with wearing her crystals. And anytime she and I get into a conversation, whether it's about like HR management, recruiting, like whatever, it's about the corporate thing, I'm inviting her to it. I'm like, oh, tell me about the crystal you're wearing around your neck. And like, oh, I see your poster on the wall behind you or whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm in my crystals. I share my tattoos. Like, I've got crystals here, crystals here. This is how I show up to work. I do have a couple podcast episodes about this that I've done one myself called What Being Corporate Means to Me. And I've done another one on my friend Kelsey's podcast about showing up as a spiritual person in a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So this is a big conversation. This is my jam. And I know we're getting to time, so I don't know how much I can actually
Yes.
elaborate, but I would invite women to start taking the bold move. It might feel very bold to you, but showing up with a bit of your spirituality showing, literally.
Yeah.
And if it's crystals,
So it's
cool.
like
If it's,
physically at first, like good first
yep,
step is just wearing
yep,
the crystals, having them in your office,
yep.
bringing them to work.
The second thing
Mm.
is, and again, I have another podcast about this, but aligning your workflow with your cosmic days of the week. And that's means that like the day that you were born on becomes your Mercury day. And then every day that follows that aligns with a different planet.
Mm.
So for me, today is my Uranus day, which means it's for the unexpected. And I kind of use it as like my humor or my flex day. I don't have a lot of structure on my Wednesdays because sometimes I like to hit the road and go visit my site in Whistler, or I'll drive out to my site in Tawasin. So I'm like, oh, I like the spontaneity on a Wednesday.
Yes.
That can be done. Um, Thursdays are my rest day. It's my Jupiter day. Or no, sorry, not Jupiter. It's my Neptune day. So I actually don't have any meetings in my calendar on Thursdays. I'm
Oh, I
actually with
love
my
this.
kids,
Yeah.
but that Thursday is a work day. So like, ooh, how risky. Like
Right.
what's it hurting? I
Right.
actually do a lot more work on a Sunday because that's my Mars day, which is for projects and activation. It's like, so that would be the second step, is like show up a bit more visibly in your spiritual embodiment.
Yeah.
And then second thing is start to arrange your schedule to match your actual flow. And we can go a
Okay.
whole other thing about your cycle and your phases. That's probably step three, if not step
Okay.
one, honestly.
Should we
Yeah.
do another thing? Because we're getting short on time here, but should we do a part two? Just do a part
Yeah.
two, Pamela, and we can dive
I
more
would
into
love
this.
that.
All right. So we're
Yeah.
going to do a part two. We're going to end
Okay.
here on the podcast. Me and Pamela are going to go away from this call, schedule part two, and then we'll come back with part two. And she can talk
Amazing.
more about this because I want
Yes.
a whole episode on this.
Okay, I love it. Let's do
All right.
it.
We will be back with part two. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.